This video is a bit different from the content that I usually make on here. It's still about video games, but I want to talk about depression and video games. Specifically, if you're finding right now that you don't really care about gaming, nothing is exciting you, and you're just not enjoying the hobby the way that you used to, I want to share my experiences with my own mental health struggles, and maybe that could help some of you reconnect with your passion to gaming. Years ago, I was in a job that I hated. My hours were weird. I was stressed, tired. My social life was shit. I wasn't working out how I should be, and I didn't really realize it at the time, but I was spiraling down into a very real depression. And what I remember most vividly is this feeling or this sensation of when I got off of work and got home, I was so unhappy in my life and so depressed that I was desperate for happiness where I could get it. And I was trying to get it from gaming. And so I was putting all this weird, unnecessary pressure on myself to have as much fun as possible every time that I gamed. I'm trying to find the right titles, and I would try a single player game. And if in like 30 minutes to an hour, it just wasn't the most fun experience ever, I was like, this game sucks, I can't play this. And then I would stop because I had to go to bed at a certain time, wake up super early, and I just had these windows of opportunity for gaming. And if I wasn't maximizing peak happiness, the game sucks, I don't like it. And what I tended to kind of revert back to were online multiplayer titles that had constant dopamine hits that were fun, but existed in pretty toxic online communities that just made things even worse. So I was trying to find happiness and do the right thing from a normal gaming perspective of fun, narrative, story-rich single-player titles that I know that I like. But I was in this really rough cycle of being depressed, not liking games like The Witcher because it didn't start off with the most excitement ever, and then like chain queuing up for Dota and just being more stressed and upset from that. If what I just described sounds kind of familiar, then let me tell you what I did to kind of fix it. And everybody's different here. What I did won't work exactly for you, but I know my demographic, and it's mostly dudes who watch my stuff. And so, guys, you have to go exercise and lift weights. You have to do that. My job and career and profession is in the exercise industry, and so that's something that I actually do know a lot about. And when I tell you it's important, it is so extremely important. You don't have to become a bodybuilder or do some like maximum effort workout session every time you go, but you need to go exert energy, and you need to do resistance training on a regular basis, 2, 3, 4 times a week, something like that. Get out stress and anxiety in the gym, and I promise you it will do wonders for every aspect of your life. Consistency in your diet is also going to be very important. If you don't have that right now and you feel like you're up and down all the time, something as simple as eating the same type of foods on a regular basis and knowing how your body's going to respond to things. If certain foods are going to make you feel like you need a nap right after, maybe don't do that kind of stuff. I would tie sleep into that too. You have to be sleeping really well. If you're not sleeping, then you're sabotaging everything else that you're trying to do in your life. And the last thing is you have to find a way to build some type of a social life if you don't have one right now. And you don't necessarily have to get that in real life. If you can socialize just a tiny little bit with some people in real life, that's great. But gaming with your friends on Discord, with people who you actually do know and enjoy being around, also fantastic. What I'm not talking about here is gaming with people who are argumentative, confrontational, toxic, catty, gossipy, whatever. I'm sure you have people like that in your life. Those aren't the ones that you need to have good relationships with. You need to have a core group of gaming friends that you play games with, or that you go out and like play disc golf or whatever, but just people that when you're around them, you feel better when you're done. I'm a super introverted person, so I don't really need this that often, but I didn't have it before when I was really depressed, and I didn't appreciate how important it was at that time. I had people in my life that I would game with, but they were the exact types of people that I just described that you should avoid. We'd play competitive games together. Everyone's arguing. Everyone's blaming each other. There's like direct messages being sent about how this person sucks and this. That's just going to make everything worse. And the last little bonus thing that I would highly recommend if you don't have in your life right now is finding some type of a creative hobby. If you don't have something like that, I can't really articulate why that's so important, but there is something so satisfying about beginning something, seeing yourself improve, with this new hobby, learning new things, all while creating things that didn't exist before. And then when you look at a photo that you took or a painting that you made, a piece of music that you created, it's going to make you feel a certain way. And there's something so satisfying about that. I picked up photography. I fell in love with it. I sucked at the beginning, but I got way better over time. And it was so much fun to just go take my camera places and have new experiences, meet people while I'm out shooting, get into situations and explore places that I would have never been if I didn't have my camera with me. So to recap all of this, exercise, diet, good sleep, supportive social life, and a creative hobby of some kind. Those 5 things. I think those are the 5 steps to get back into gaming, which this kind of went on like a whole mental health journey discussion, right? But it all comes back to gaming. And if you love gaming, but you're not enjoying it right now, maybe some of these points that I mentioned could help you rekindle your love for gaming, because you will genuinely be a happy, fulfilled, and content person with life outside of gaming. And then when you choose to load up whatever title it is you want to play, you're more open-minded to the pacing and the structure and maybe a slow burn of certain single-player titles if that's what you're finding that you just don't really like anymore. So to wrap this up, I guess the most important sort of message here at the end is I am not trying to say that simply by doing these things, it will cure depression and you'll be fine and this is what everybody should do and it's that simple and it's that easy. But this is what worked for me. These were things that were missing in my life that I didn't really appreciate how significant they were. And by slowly, systematically sort of correcting these things, my whole life changed and I am a completely different person now than I was then. And like I said before, my day job, my profession, my career is based in an exercise capacity. And I want to leave it that vague. If you need help with exercise stuff, if you don't know where to begin, if all of that's kind of unknown to you and it's intimidating, all of my online exercise content is linked down below for free. There are workout programs there. I wrote a book that you can read. All that stuff's free. And if you need more help, just leave a comment. I'd be happy to help you out.